Good morning. Oh, dude, I'm living the dream, bro. I'm living the dream. I will let everybody know. I'm out here in Panama with my fiance for a few days. We're trying to figure out kind of where we want to have a place. So my fiance can't make it into the country for a little while, so I have to have a place where she can be and I can be with her on a consistent basis. And Panama is an option that we're looking at. But earlier my internet went out. So if something happens and I do, just to warn y'all, if something happens and I disappear in the middle of it, 2 seconds, I'll hop back in. It cut on and off. The Wi-Fi quit. That was earlier this morning, but we're gonna be positive and say that that's not gonna happen. All right. So we're recording. We're live. Everything is looking up. I got a few more people to admit here, and I'm sure. Yeah, they're still rolling in. Just give me a couple more minutes, guys. Let's see what we can do here. But you guys are about to get some serious. I've prepared some serious value for you all, so you should be excited. I'm glad you feel that way. I'm seeing a lot of names that I don't know, which is exciting. I like making new relationships. So if you don't know who I am, my name's Johnny Brock. First of all, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. Worked under Justin Brock in Tupelo, Mississippi for 5 years. Learned an immense amount of value there, and now I went and partnered with Paramount Insurance Brokers out of Port St. Lucie, Florida, with a good friend of mine, two good friends of mine, and we're growing an agency out there. So right now, that's our main focus is growing that agency. One thing that's helped us quite a bit in the first 12 months, and really, if we had not done this, I don't know where we would be. But we've done a lot of cross selling. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go over all that with you guys. So I'm about to mute myself for 2 seconds, and then I'm coming back in, and we're rolling. This black shirt. All right, just submitted two more. So we're up to 85 people. It's kind of crazy. I had a late night push yesterday. We had a total of about 180 registrations for this thing. People are still hopping in, which is good. I wish I could just automate it and let everybody come in. Um, so maybe I can. If anybody knows how I can do that, let me know. But basically, holy mackerel. So basically, I've prepared a presentation. This should last about an hour. And what I want to do is if you are on this call and you have questions, if you have some sort of you want to engage, no problem. But since it's a big call, let's save that for the end, right? So write your questions down, whatever they may be, and we will discuss them towards the end. And I'm sure that there will be some questions and people wanna go over some stuff. But again, back to it. So just real quick, me and my team are very big on cross selling. We require it. We want to scale and grow and build build a organization that helps people like you all become financially free, right? And we're we're really gung ho on people that have never sold before. That's something we really enjoy, because when you get somebody who's never sold and you're scaling a business and you teach them how to make, $8 to $10,000 a month, they never go anywhere. Our experience with experienced agents is so below zero. So we we're going to show you how to cross sell today. All right. So a lot of you, maybe you've been in some of my trainings before. I do them at behind the agency, and I do them at Make Medicare Great Again. We've had some successful trainings, and basically what I've done is I've over the past 5 years I've incorporated a training that not only helps you go back through your book of business and exasperate it and make a boatload of money on that, but it also going forward teaches you how to do it the right way, which is, hey, from the first call, first sale, write these first two, right? This first package, and then on the back end, instead of you following up and doing that, you can actually be cross selling. 3 4 months later, another product. So we're going to go over product pipelining. We're gonna go over quite a bit of stuff. So I'm going to share my screen real quick because I have just something I typed up on the old plane ride over here. So this is what we're gonna this is our guide. Okay. Wish I had my dual screen action here, but I don't. So basically, first thing I want to do is I want to go over y'all's numbers. There's 90 people in here. So everybody on here, you should have a pen and paper. All right. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to do the math. Okay. So there's a formula to determine how much money you're missing out on right now, right? Of course, this money stacks up year after year because you're going to incorporate it into, your day-to-day sales. But right now, if you're sitting on a book of business, it's just sitting there, right? It's just money that's just sitting there. So I wonder if I can make someone a host to admit people. Zach Munger, you up for that job for me? Okay, thank you, buddy. So anytime somebody joins in or requests to join, you should hear a ding. It's co-annotator. Did you get it? Okay, cool. Thank you, buddy. All right, so anytime somebody tries to join in, Munger's gonna help it out. And I just got a ding. So tell me, are you able to admit them, Zach? Okay. I did. I put you as an annotator. Hmm. I don't know what that. You see it? You got it? You should be able to. There should be so somebody just. I had somebody just ask to get admitted, and they just got admitted. So, anyways, we're gonna roll. We're not wasting any more time. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. All right. So this is recorded anyway. So I'll eventually. I'm not gonna throw it out immediately, but eventually I will. Okay. So everybody, do your math. The first thing I want you to do is know that on average, when you call through your book of business. So if you have 1,000 people, you can use that as an example. Write down how many clients you have on the books. There's a 30%, you're going to contact half of them typically because they're clients. It's a higher contact rate. It's not like you're calling leads, right? So let's say you contact half of them and you close 30% of them. So just do the math. If you have 1,000 clients and you contact 500 of them, 500 times 0.30 equals 150 deals. All right. Then what we do is we calculate the average compensation. The average compensation for these cross sell products, which we're going to go over in a second, which ones we're talking about, is you're looking at about 900 annual premium on average when you use my pitch. The commission rate on it, let's just say it's 85%. You're looking at $115,000 that's right there, just waiting on you to make it. And the thing is, you can make that amount of money in 30 days 45 days, because if you've got a certain amount of clients sitting there and you call through them like I'm telling you and like I'm going to teach you today, you for sure can do that, right? And these are people, the people in here, you're owning agencies. If you're an LOA or something like that, of course, you're going to work the book of the person that you're working for. And yes, you're not going to make this much money, but guess what? The agency is, and a rising tide raises all ships. Okay, so rinse and repeat, right? So after you do your calculations, and I'm going to ask it, y'all better be doing your calculations. Before I get started, I'm going to ask some of you what your number is. But after you do that calculation, basically that calculation is on half of your book. So what you do is you go back through and you call the other half of your book as well again, right? And then it'll be roughly the same. You'd basically just cut it in half. So if you had 500 clients answer and then you call those 500 that didn't answer, you're going to have 250 answer. So the number's basically the same. You just cut it in half, right? So in a 30 to 45 day period, depending on how big your book is, if it's 1,000 people, you should be able to call through and you should be able to make that amount of money for your agency. All right. So real quick, I want to ask a few of you what your number is. So I really hope y'all are paying attention because I gotta make sure I don't, I'm not just talking to a wall here. Bill Green popped up, first one to pop up. Bill Green, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. What is your number? Mm-hmm. 337,000. See, look at there, Bill. Okay, so Bill's got how many clients? You must have 3,500 or so. 2,500 clients. So 2,500 clients, and have you ever cross sold before? Okay, good. So here's the thing. I'm going to teach you also how to go back through and the ones that you've already sold to think quickly and not pitch them the products that they already have or the products they're not going to buy. So a D-SNP, home health care, you can sell the hell out of it, and then a low cost cancer you could sell to it. So we'll go over that now. Let me ask a couple more. Let's go with some people. I know Bill. I don't know a lot of these people. So if I say your name and you're like nervous, don't be nervous. Who gives a shit? It's no big deal. Eugene Pavinka. No, Eugene. He's not. He's not answering. Okay, Gavin Barney. I wonder if they're even listening. Ah, Gavin. There we go. $375,000. Phenomenal. That's what the hell I want. All right. And then Amanda tried to say something. I think she was trying to to volunteer herself. Maybe I should have asked if there's any volunteers. So Amanda, what were you gonna say? Oh, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, gotcha. All right, yeah, we talked to Medicare Con. So you guys are gonna do extremely well. I'm excited to see y'all's results. So we got one more person. Let's ask one more person. Let's go with Diana Lat- Latipova. Latipova. Yeah, I got some crazy last names here. Diana Latipova. Can you participate? Or Dina Ramos? Dina Ramos? 185K in the bank. Let's roll. All right. So bottom line is quite a bit of money out here. We're talking about so far. I've asked three people, and we're almost to $1 million. 185 plus 300 and something, and then 300 and something. I mean, we're upwards of $750,000. So imagine we got stupid amounts of money. What'd you say? I'm gonna go into all that. I'm gonna go into all that. All right. So let's roll. Let's roll. Let's get started. And like I said, anybody who has a question, write it down. And if I don't answer it during the presentation, at the end of the call, we'll go over it. All right. So appreciate the participation, Alex. Thanks, Amanda. Thanks everybody that talked. All right. So um, basically we know now, okay, we got quite a bit of money that we're missing out on. Okay, so first I'm going to go over the basic is what products do we sell. Okay, so first and foremost I'm going to teach you guys the pitch, which is the most valuable part of this. But first we have to know what order we put these products in. Okay, so on the first go around through your book of business, you're gonna sell them the same thing that you should sell them when you first talk to them. Okay. Which next week on Monday, this is gonna be a weekly thing. So next week on Monday, I'm gonna do another training on how to add it into your current pitch properly. A lot of you will figure that out after today's call, but this is going to be a weekly occurrence. And at the end of the day, training is vital. Jordan Belfort trained his team 2 times a day. They weren't the most, ethical people, but they still were really damn good at their job. They trained twice a day in the morning and at 2 p.m. He stopped them for an hour and trained them. It's vital. Train every day and train, especially if you have a team, bring them in and everything will get better. All right, so what products to sell? It's going to be cancer, heart attack, stroke, and then Heartland National is, I love Heartland National, I love Bankers Fidelity, and I love Aetna. All three companies are phenomenal. Okay, Heartland National has been, I have a wonderful relationship with them, and I'm going to be biased towards them. Okay. First, also, I'll mention if you don't have a contract that I mentioned, Heartland, Bankers, or Aetna, by all means, we can, we're Paramount Insurance Brokers, which is directly under Justin Brock and Bobby Rock Insurance. We'll be able to supply that to you if you need it. What products to sell them? Cancer, heart attack, stroke, and critical illness, along with a hospital indemnity. So you have a hospital, which hospital indemnity has really high renewals, by the way, depending on your level. I mean, you're probably looking at a 12.5% renewal on a cross sell. So not only did you add the Medicare plan, but you just added 12.5% on the cross sell too. There's a lot of value in these cross sales. So the cancer, heart attack, and stroke product is a front loaded commission, and the retention on these two products is the highest that I've ever had. You're looking at probably 85 to 90% retention on them. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the pitch here in a second. But the way we build this out is probably best, actually, if I show you. So I'm just going to use Heartland National as an example. Um, but I'm not, because I don't want to go through and waste a bunch. I'm going to call it wasting time, but I don't have time, and you guys don't have time. I want you guys to get on the phones and make some money today, but I'm not going to go through every single carrier. So the way we would do this typically, and again, I'm going to go over the pitch in a second. But we have cancer, heart attack, and stroke EAP. We have home health care, which we'll go over product pipelining in a little bit briefly to pipeline the home health care product. And then we have hospital indemnity. So when you are calling them, you want to have this pulled up. Have it already pulled up. The reason being because if you don't, like this is you click hospital indemnity, this pulls up. If you don't, what's going to happen is they're going to be like, oh yeah. After I go over the pitch with you, you'll see what I'm saying. But then you'll be like, okay, let me quote it, right? You want to have it pulled up along with your CRM and calling through everybody. So when you get a fish on the line, you're not like scrambling like, oh, I gotta go somewhere, right? Get this pulled up, have it ready to go. So you got cancer, heart attack, and stroke, and you just go through and quote. After the call today, go in, play around with it. If you've never played around with whatever carrier you're going to be riding, which I highly recommend Heartland National, the reason is when I have a client that has a claim, it gets paid out no time. The relationship's too good. And if you guys are working with me, your relationship would be just as good. We'll make shit happen. Okay. So I've had the best experience with Heartland National that I have with any other carrier. Bankers Fidelity is a close second. I love Bankers Fidelity. It's just that Heartland and I go skiing with the guy that runs the company. So like I've just got a really good relationship with him. So you can use whoever you want, but at the end of the day, Heartland National, phenomenal company, and these two right here is what we're going to focus on first. Okay, so this brings me to let me share my. I'm doing it the wrong way. Let me share my whole screen. Okay, so now you guys can roll with me as I move. All right, so right here, cancer, heart attack, and stroke, critical illness. Okay, so you can add that critical illness rider, which you can't do really with any other carriers. With Heartland National, you can add it to their product, right? So let's say that you've got right here, critical illness. Okay, so that covers Alzheimer's, dementia, ALS, MS, loss of speech, loss of hearing, dialysis, severe burns, all kinds of shit. Okay, it's going to cover it. So it's not just cancer, heart attack, and stroke. You got a whole slew of things that you're also adding in. All right, so let's jump back in here. So the first one that you're going to offer them is cancer, heart attack, and stroke, and hospital indemnity. That's a package deal. It's gold, silver, bronze. Okay, so you have those two products really. Cancer, heart attack, and stroke is bundled into one policy. And then hospital indemnity also includes cancer in it if you want to add it. But I do not recommend that. I recommend going with a baseline hospital plan, critical illness, which we're going to go over in a second. Then we're going to go over home health care. This is really part of the product pipelining. So home health aid versus home health care, right? Most people don't know the difference. But the difference is home health aid is not covered by Medicare. So if somebody has a Medicare plan or whatever, Medicare and supplement doesn't matter. Home health care is going to be covered up to 35 hours a week. So they need more than that also, but home health aid. So nobody's going to, Medicare's not going to pay for somebody to come in and wipe their ass, basically is what I'm saying, which you can use that as a selling point. I'd be a little bit more polite on it, but you can use it as a selling point. You could sell final expense. Final expense is another one that we pipeline. It's months down the road. But all you're doing as you're pipelining these products, something that people have to keep in mind, these people that you are selling, they have other policies and other services that they buy from people. So the idea that all you are is a Medicare agent is stupid and not true. It's just not true. So when you have a client on the books and they think, oh, they're my Medicare agent, after 9 months of telling them, hey, we also offer this and we offer that and we offer this, then basically you've become exponentially more valuable to them than just a Medicare agent. Everybody knows, whether you cross sell or not, everybody knows that the more policies you have in the household, the higher the retention is. Okay, so final expense is another one. I always use Bankers Fidelity has a really good product for that. If they're healthy, Bankers Fidelity all day. Final expense also, of course, you have the Ascendo final expense policy, which is really good. And then Recovery Care through Aetna is also a good one. So these are just and you could actually keep going. You have all kinds of different products out there, but these are the ones that I sell and my company sells on a consistent basis. All right, so these are the products we're going to kind of go over. Now, the next thing is the most valuable thing, which is the pitch. Okay. And the funny thing is, guys, this is not like rocket science. At the end of the day, if you listen to this call, you're probably going to be like, oh, wow, it's actually really simple. But the key is that you actually leave and go and apply it. Okay. And I have every single one of your names and every single one of your phone numbers. And I will be calling you and I will be telling you, hey, what the hell have you done since our call? Right? So you're going to get a call from me, and I want to hear good things. I don't want to hear, oh, I haven't done it yet. I'll tell you a quick story. Okay. I traveled to Texas in February and I visited three agencies and I went over this with every single one of them. And I know that none of them actually did it. None of them did it. None of them applied it. They all have big books of businesses and they will not call through their book of business. You know why? Because they don't believe in it. So why do I believe in it? Because I had $19 in my bank account in September of 2020. I had $19 in my bank account, and my brother told me, Johnny, you're not going to get paid until January if you just write Medicare Advantage. So I went in, and when I sold these products, I sold them hospital indemnity to go along with it, and it was very very easy. And I made and I by December I had $15,000 in my bank account, which is the most money I ever had, and that is why I believe in it. So that's why I need you guys. You have to put yourself in that position, right? If that's you, everybody in here can relate. Hey, if that's you're gonna believe in it and you're gonna always do it, right? So I just want to go over the pitch real quick. Munger, all these people that are dinging in, we're letting them in, right? Yeah, okay, he's getting them in. All right, so thank you, Munger. All right. So the pitch. So this is the valuable part. Okay. So first things first. Okay. You gotta have a CRM with all your clients in it, right? So if you don't have that in place, then talk to me. Ask a question at the end, right? Because that's something that's extremely important, right? You can go through the carriers, but it's very, very vital it's extremely vital to have a CRM that you can just go through and just call. Whether it's Agency Block or Go Guru or just a Go High Level mix, doesn't matter. You need to have something that you keep track with your clients on, and you're just going through calling them. Because time management is extremely important to this too, right? You can make $150,000 in a month if you have everything lined up and a strategic plan, or it can take 3 months because you're going through each carrier. You're dialing them on a dialer, like that's going to take longer, obviously. Okay, so when your client answers, the first order is to simply build rapport and focus on working on the relationship. You're simply just calling them. Hey, John, how you doing? It's Johnny. I'm your Medicare guy. I talked to you a few months back, or I talked to you last year. I wanted to say thank you for your, continued support, because you being a client of mine is how my business grows. So I appreciate you, and I just want to make sure you didn't have any concerns. And then ask them about, hey, how's your benefits? Right? They're going to be conversing with you, and you're just talking to them. How's your benefits going? Are you using your over the counter? Are you using your dental, vision, and hearing? Once you get through that, which should take 3 to 5 minutes, you're going to transition into a review of your summary of benefits. And I say some variation of the following. Hey, Janice, just so you know, like I said, it's a pleasure always talking to you, but I saw your profile, and the reason I called is because I noticed that you have out of pocket exposure, and that's something that I'm not okay with, right? It's my job to educate you and let you know of what's available to you. So I've got some information I need to go over with you. Can you grab a pen and paper real quick? Okay. And once they get that pen and paper, it's pretty simple, right? You know what plan they're on. So you go to the summary of benefits. Once they have that pen and paper, you just go over the out-of-pocket costs. And I always mention the audio cutting. The hell? I have no idea why that happened. I have no idea why that happened. All right, where'd I cut off at, Zach? Okay. So once you're gonna go over the summary benefits with them, right? Not the whole freaking thing. I don't want you wasting time, right? But so I got through. I saw your profile. I noticed you had out of pocket exposure. Yada yada yada. All right. So once you get to that portion, you're just gonna have them write down these things. So Janice, do me a favor. You have a $6,000 maximum out of pocket. Write that down for me real quick, and then deductibles if they have any. Also, always have them write down cancer, because every single plan, it seems like, is 20% cancer costs. So just have them write down, hey, you get cancer, guess what? You're going to hit that $6,000 out of pocket. And guess what, Janice? If you have this happen at the end of the year, that $6,000 is going to start over in January. So you're out of pocket 12 grand just because you didn't have anything to pay you if you had cancer. And then have them write down dialysis. I always mention heart attack and stroke. And then I say critical illness, because the way you can word this is, most people, when they hit their max out of pocket, it's because of some critical illness, which we can cover up on the back end, right? So I always mention those things, but there's not actual copays for them, as you guys know, right? So I mean, there is, right? If you have a heart attack, you're going to go to the hospital, and you'll probably be there for a few days. So the inpatient hospital covers that, right? So have them write down dialysis, have them write down inpatient, ambulance, emergency room, and skilled nursing rehab. Obviously, most of the time, emergency room's not a big deal, but it comes with it. Doesn't cost anything extra. Ambulance is $1.50, depending on their age. It's nothing, right? So add it in. Once this is finished, it's very simple. We always give them a three option close. The key here, everybody, is the assumption of it. And the way that you word it is important. Okay. So let me just do this. Zach, help me out here. All right. As you guys can tell, Zach Munger is one of my favorite people. Okay. All right. So Zach Munger, we're gonna role play for a second. I'm the agent, and you're the client. Okay. This is the most valuable thing we can do. All right. So we just got through our chit chat, and I say, "Hey Zach, I noticed on your profile. This is why I called you. That we have some information I need to go over because you have a lot of out of pocket exposure associated with your plan. Grab a pen and paper for me real quick, Zach." Okay, so now that you've got that pen and paper, I just need to have you write down a few things. Do me a favor, write down maximum out of pocket, and then beside that, write down $6,000. And Zach, deductible, you have a $150 deductible. It's only associated with hospital visits and things like that. That's what I'm trying to help you with today. Write down cancer, 20%. If you have chemotherapy, radiation, whatever it may be, cancer is one that will quickly have you hitting that maximum out of pocket. Dialysis, put 20%. Dialysis is another one that dialysis treatment is going to cost you 20% up to your max out of pocket. So, God forbid any of this happen to you. If it does, we want you to have something. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Wouldn't you agree with that? Okay, inpatient hospital coverage is the next one I want you to write down. Ambulance, emergency room, skilled nursing rehab. Write all those down. And Zach, also the next thing that I want you to write down is I want you to write down you write down gold, silver, and bronze. So on that paper, I want you to write down gold, silver, and bronze. And your date of birth is 5/14/1956, right? Okay, so for the gold option, I want you to this is going to be obviously the one that covers everything. This covers you for, the dialysis, the cancer. If you have a heart attack or a stroke, it even gives you a nice benefit, right? A $10,000 check for heart attack, a $10,000 check for stroke, a $10,000 check for any of those critical illnesses, Alzheimer's, dementia, ALS, MS, severe burns, even if you have an organ transplant, all of those, you're going to have a big old fat check in the mail. Okay. So the gold option, write this down for me, Zach, is one is, oh, what's it, Daisy? 1 second. I'm doing my calculations. So the gold option is going to be, so as you guys can see, all I'm doing is, y'all can see the calculator, right? All I'm doing is adding up so the gold option, Zach, is 123.45. Write that down. 123.45. Again, that's going to cover you for $10,000 on cancer, heart attack, stroke, and any of those critical illnesses that I mentioned. It's also going to give you a baseline hospital $350 a day benefit. So with the copays that I went over with you, this will cover them all. With the exception of, I didn't add in skilled nursing, right? But you can add in skilled nursing, you just add $17 to the premium. So that's what I would have done. I don't know why I didn't do that. So, anyways, let's do this. Plus 17. All right, Zach. So your gold option is $140.45. And then, guys, it's very simple. Once you do that, you have your silver and bronze options. You don't have to do any more calculations. So gold is both of them added together, 83.75 plus 55.61. Okay. And then what you say is, Zach, the silver option, write this down. It's $83.75. And the reason I have that, your silver option, is because the most common reason that people hit their maximum out of pocket is because of cancer, heart attack, stroke, or some other critical illness. And that's covered under that silver option. And then Zach, the bronze is 55.61. Write that down for me. It's very simple. Very simple. Zach, which one of those works best for you? Silver works best. So most people would agree with you. All right, let me make sure that you pass health underwriting on this. I'm going to ask you a couple questions to make sure you qualify. Okay. All right. Basically, have you had a heart attack, stroke, or cancer diagnosis in the past 5 years? Do you have HIV or AIDS? Good. I'm happy about that for you, Zach. What's your height and weight? 130 pounds. All right. During the past 5 years, has any applicant been advised? So you just go through the questions with them. Okay. Now I want you guys to note this. This is very important. If somebody doesn't pass underwriting for the whole cancer, heart attack, and stroke, then what you do is you go back and you match the premium according to whatever they can get. Okay? Because they've already given you what they're willing to pay. All right. So then we would say, okay, since you had that heart attack last year, Zach, unfortunately, you don't qualify for the heart attack and stroke portion, but you do qualify for the cancer and the critical illness. So we're going to get you a $20,000 benefit for cancer. God forbid that happen. And then the critical illness as well. And then you would proceed. Okay? So you match the premium to what they've already agreed on. Some people would say, oh, you don't qualify for that. And then they would keep the benefit where it is and they just lower the premium down to $50. But then what you could do is you could either do that and then you can also add in the hospital indemnity where we were at $50. And then, they're around the same amount. But the bottom line is if they agree on a price, adjust your policies to fit whatever they can afford, right? That's all I'm saying. Well, somebody's about to get muted. Thank you. All right, so the next thing is going to be, let's see here. All right, so right, gold, silver, bronze down on the paper for me, blah, blah, blah. We just went over all that, right? So you have to, after you say which one is best for you, you have to wait and you have to let them talk. They're almost always going to choose something, whether or not they have the ability to buy it is that's not the question. They're always going to choose something, right? So what I do is this is the valuable part for sure, right? So I think gold makes the most sense, or like Zach said, I think silver makes the most sense. I agree. Most people would agree with you. Let me ask you some questions. Boom. Once you determine qualifications, go straight into the application. Some people will be like, blah 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 blah. Now, I'm gonna need your payment information for this. Well, just go straight into it. What is your social security number? Boom. All right, Zach. Now, the way that I do this is, of course, I'm gonna send it straight to your house. I have your address. It's 123 Main Street. Is that correct? Perfect. Now, you are going to have a beneficiary on this policy who will receive your money if you pass away from any of these illnesses. Boom. Verify that info. Okay? Next, and this is last. What day of the month do you get your Social Security check? 5th of every month. Perfect. What Just in this order, guys. And I'll send you guys this document. Anybody who is here, I'll share this with you. What day of the wait? The hell? Yeah. All right. So I don't. Well, I'm OCD as hell, so I have to make sure that things. What day of the wait? No. Let's see. What day of the month do you get your Social Security check? And then I say, what bank does it go into? Chase. Wonderful. All right. And then lastly, what is that account number? Just like that, in that order. And then you get the account number, and then you're off to the races at that point, right? That is going to be either there or the Social Security part. That's going to be where they object, right? And if somebody objects, find yourself an objection that works with everything. You can say anything, guys. The key is not so much what you say, but that you do have something to say, right? If so, Munger, give me an objection, right? Let's say, hey, Munger, what is your social security number? Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't feel comfortable giving it out anyway either. But the reality is, it's a lot safer for you to give it to me over the phone than it is for me to send you a paper application. You send the paper application through the mail with your social, your bank information. It's just a lot better that way because you're talking to your insurance agent here. I'm going to keep your information safe. So just go ahead and give it to me. And you can do that with any of that, right? Any, any information, personal information like that. You can have that same overcoming objection. It's easy. It's easy to overcome it. And you could literally say, "Hey, it's probably not going to work out for you anyway." But it doesn't matter what you say, even if it doesn't make sense. I just want you to say something and then ask again. The last thing I want you to do is say, "Oh, okay, I understand." Right? Or a lot of people would do that, right? So you could even say, "Hey, I understand where you're coming from." Confidence is very key in this type of situation. But the reality is, if you do this in this way, this is why I put you at a 30% close rate. Some of you are going to be higher than that. 30% is conservative on your current clients working the book. It's conservative. But a lot of them may not want to do that. But guess what? If you put a follow up in their profile, refuse to give me their personal information, you call them back and you say, "Look, John, I can help you out and get you all those exposures covered up. I just need to get your information. I understand the reluctance to trust people. There's a lot of unethical people out there, but right now, that's not who I am." You follow up just like that. I promise you, a lot of them, the people that denied giving you their information, will give it to you. All right. So, you know what? Before I move on to this part, because this is not going to take very long, the product pipelining. Um, while we're still on the pitch, I want to answer any questions that anybody has. So if you have a question about the pitch, the actual pitch that I just went over, ask away. Anybody that's got a question, ask away. John, go ahead. No, 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 no. You should 1,000% have your new agents calling that book of business. Jackson Taylor, who was the MC at Medicare Con, first thing he ever did was called through Bobby Brock Insurance clients. And while we were at a conference, the team was at a conference. It was his first week. He wrote 18 applications. That's going to help you. That's going to help you not only train them, but it's going to help you figure out who's good and who isn't. Yes, they're going to miss some deals. Okay, and you can go back through them as well. But I would highly recommend you go through them and you say, "Hey, they write them a script. Just build off of this. Hey, this is Zach calling on behalf of John, your Medicare guy. How are you? Hey, I'm just going through his files for him and making sure that everything is in place. I did notice you can train them on this. Train them on this, and they will crush it. You're gonna. It's very vital for somebody in your shoes, John, to do it this way because who like these people aren't costing you any money, right? So if they botch a cross sell, it's a lot less irritating, frustrating than if they botch a lead that cost you, you know, $20 to get on the phone with, right? So it's a lot more valuable for them to learn on those clients. And then after they make it through all of them, right? They can say, "Hey, these people didn't answer," and then you can call them or something like that. But I highly recommend you build a script for them based off of this information and have them go through it. Anybody else got a question on the script? Come on, there's 85 people in here. Somebody's got a question on the script. Oh shit. Oh shit. I'm not even paying attention to these at all. All right. So let's see. Okay, let me just go to the bottom here. So, what are you writing specifically to each of the packages? It isn't clear to me what you're adding into each one. Kate, add what's valuable to you. Add what's valuable to the client. Always add cancer. Always put heart attack and stroke coverage on there. And Heartland has that dialysis benefit, severe burns. It has loss of speech, loss of hearing. That's the most valuable. Cancer, heart attack and stroke, and critical illness for sure, and then a baseline hospital plan. So that's the type of questions I'm looking for right there. Okay, so it's pretty basic, right? So you add the baseline. So this right here is whatever benefit they need. If they have a $300 a day copay days 1 through 7, give them $400 a day days 1 through 10, so they make some money, right? And then go down and add skilled nursing. If they go to a skilled nursing facility, $150 is enough. This pays pay attention. I don't want any of you guys asking me this after this call. Skilled nursing facility, pay. This is days 21 through 100. It's not clear on the application. And Heartland National is going to be bringing a new hospital indemnity plan out soon. So they'll leave this one in the dust. But it's $150 is enough. If they're going to skilled nursing, 150 is enough because all they need is something to cover their max out of pocket. It's going to cover their max out of pocket. At that point, they're going to be at it's trust me, 150 bucks is enough. Ambulance, I would add that in because it's only $2, right? It's not going to make a difference. But $63.52 plus the if you add in, let's say you do cancer, heart attack, stroke, 83.75 plus 63.52. That's your gold package, and then 83.75 is your silver, and then 63.52 is your bronze. And then, guys, here's the biggest problem that I have out of agents, and I hope you guys can feel my passion because I believe in this so much because our agency is absolutely crushing, and I want you guys to crush it too. So 60, the biggest issue that I have is people don't believe in the product. They don't believe that somebody's going to pay 63.52 plus 83. They don't believe it. Nobody's gonna pay $150 a month. Bullshit. There's a people out there. Those people. First of all, it's up to you to show them the value in it. But guys, it's a lot. It's a lot better to pay $150 a month than it is to get bills for thousands of dollars because you got diagnosed with cancer and you went through chemotherapy in December and then you hit your max out of pocket. It's better. Everybody has a different way of thinking. Everybody. But also, if you give them that three option close, what it does is it gives them it's you start out high. See, for years I used to just say, "Hey, this benefit is this much. Do you want it?" And I should have been given a three option close the whole time because what I did was I for I didn't I missed out on so much premium because I just gave them one option. Give them three options and let them choose. They're gonna say, "Oh, I can't afford 150, but I can afford 83. Yeah, I can afford that." Right? So I kind of elaborated too much on that, but the bottom line is to answer your question, Kate. Give them cancer, heart attack, stroke, at least, and then add critical illness into it, and then add a baseline hospital plan, just like you see here. That's your answer your question. Um, So Alex Sealer said, "It is our duty to provide as much value to our clients as we can. Nobody except us likes talking insurance, let alone shopping it. The more value you can bring to your client will increase your sticky rate with your retention tenfold, no doubt. No, we cannot be the master of all trades, but find a partner that sells life to team up with you and provide that value. Our agency is partnered with a financial planning firm that specializes in life and retirement." That's phenomenal, right? That's a good point. Bill Green, they told you not to sell life insurance. That's wild. Why wouldn't they want you? Hold on. This conversations here. See, Shailene, she's not in here anymore. Okay. Yeah. So she shouldn't have jumped out. I would have told her, hey, why are you only licensed in New York? Change some stuff about it. Whatever. All right. John Rodriguez, I want sell them final expense. What if they want both but can't afford one product? I have an answer to that for you, Jose. Check this bad boy out right here. Let me share my screen again. So, whoops. Oh no, I'm not doing that. All right, so check this out. Cancer, heart attack, and stroke. Return of premium rider payable upon death. So you add that in. Let's say they want cancer, heart attack, and stroke, and critical illness and final expense. You just got it for them. $10,000 all across the board, payable upon death. Adds $54 to the premium, but it is a final expense policy. That's what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, they're paying $138 for a critical illness policy. If they only live 2 more years, then they're not going to get that much. But think about it, guys. Let's say that they want both, and this is what I would do: $138.19 times 12 times two, they would get their beneficiary would get a $3,300 check after they die. If they live uh 10 years, $16,582. Jose, please do me a favor. Does that answer your question? I don't know why people are. Oh, guys, open queue. Let's roll. You guys are good. If you can't, if you want to talk, talk. Okay, that's a good question. That's a good question. Good question. So if they while they take it out, so let's say that they have the policy for 10 years and they pass away, in year three it paid out $10,000 benefit. It's gonna take 10,000 out of that death benefit. Yes, that's a good question. Does Harlan add cancer in Texas? Yes, Mark. Yes. Yes. It is in Florida, it's in Texas. I'll show you guys all the states. West Virginia, Texas, Tennessee. I'm not gonna say them all, but there it's in a lot of states. And if it's not in your state, just use Aetna. Um, I know they didn't have, yeah, they didn't have it during AEP, but they got it a couple months ago. Is this pitch mainly for non-DSNP? I have done a recent, can't talk. I have done a decent job on my non-DSNP, but can do better. On new TSC5, I have been much more successful on cross-selling so far. That's good, dude. I'm glad to hear that. So is this pitch mainly for non-DSNP? Yes, it is, but guys, be creative. I'm giving you a selling tactic that works extremely well. If you have a DSNP person on the phone, put DSNP products in front of them, right? So they don't need hospital indemnity coverage, but they a lot of DSNPs they want cancer coverage, right? So you have to tell them, hey, by the way, you have to make sure they don't lose their Medicaid if they get the benefit. So give them a $5,000. So if it was a DSNP person, I would give them a $5,000 benefit for cancer, heart attack, and stroke, and then I would add in the return of premium rider, and I would explain it to them that hey, this is a critical illness policy that gives you the ability, as long as you have it, that it will act as a death benefit for your beneficiaries as well, right? So I would you can do final expense for DSNP is probably the most valuable thing. So with final expense, I would go to Aetna or Baker's Fidelity, and I just realized I'm not showing my screen to you. So I would so decent yes, just use the pitch and adjust it to who you're talking to. If you're talking to a D-SNP, don't give them a $10,000 benefit because that might mess up their Medicaid. You know how that is, right? So although it's non-taxable, I don't know how that really works. I don't know if they get a $5,000 check or $10,000 check. I don't know. I would be afraid that they'd lose their Medicaid. So I'd give them a $5,000 benefit and then I would sell them on final expense. So I would say, hey, you're going to get final expense coverage, right? And it builds up the longer you have it. And when you pass away, all the premiums that you paid into it, your beneficiary is going to get back. It also includes cancer, heart attack, and stroke. There's different ways that you could sell this stuff, but the bottom line is, if you have somebody on the phone and they're a D-SNP, you can sell them something. It's just about a matter of like value. D-SNPs, they buy final expense. Guys, D-SNPs are the type of people who buy final expense. The T65 that has, a couple $1 million in a CD or they don't buy final expense. Why would they buy final expense? Right? So final expense is bought by D-SNPs. So just call them and do home health care and do final expense. The pitch works the same. So when you ask that question, is this pitch mainly for non-D-SNP? No. This pitch works for anybody. This pitch is, it just depends on, you could be selling solar and this pitch would work. You know, which option do you want? This one, or this one? It's the same thing. It's just the product is different. So DSNP people, the idea that you can't sell them anything is crazy. You're going to sell less of them, but some would even argue that the commission rate on a DSNP person is higher because final expense is a higher commission. And yes, the retention is going to be not as good on those people. But I would highly recommend, if you're in here and you're talking to DSNP people, get away from it. They're not the best clients. All right. Any more questions on the pitch? Because I'm going to talk briefly about product pipelining, and then what I don't want is, if you're in here, don't hop off thinking that it's over, because I got something I want you guys to do for me. Okay, so um, let's do that. No more questions, right? No more questions. No more questions. Roger that. All right. So product pipelining. It's pretty simple. if you have somebody if you have somebody as a client, okay, you have to figure out, how do I maximize my current power base and reactivate them. So year after year, you should be power basing year after year. Like, it doesn't make sense for you to have clients and for them to not be contacted and offer different products. So those products that we went over in the beginning, the way we do it is, we how do we maximize your current power base? People forget that your clients are paying other people. I told you guys this earlier. The idea that they only want to buy one or two things from you is false. Everyone has a different view on each product and service that you bring them. You have to bring it up. And every time you contact somebody and you bring something up, you're just increasing the value that you bring to them, whether they buy it or not. They are going to be, they're going to see you differently. The relationship is going to be stronger. Okay. So product pipeline is basically like this. Let me just kind of, Johnny adds a client in January. Okay. I had a client in January. I call him back in March and I go over let's say I had a client in January and I sell them cancer, heart attack, and stroke to go along with it. I call them back 3 months later and I say, hey, Janice, I just wanted to get in touch with you, make sure everything's going well, blah, 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 chit chat, building the relationship, making it stronger. And then I say, I just came across something that you may be interested in. Let me ask you a question. Do you know the difference between home health care and home health aid? And then I would go over that product with them. Okay. So the way that looks is, just so you guys know, is share this with you. So let's say that somebody has, you call them back 3 months later. Hey, how's everything going? Blah, blah, blah. Chit chat, customary stuff, home healthcare e-app, right? So if 70-year-old woman, especially if she's got a husband, they see the value in this product. Hey, do you know the difference between home health care and home health aid? No. All right, let me explain it to you. Home health care is covered by Medicare. Home health aid is not. That's something that you need to have protection against. So if your husband, for example, Janice, if her husband's name's Bill, right? So if Bill, if he can't perform all of his daily living activities, two of the six daily living activities, he needs to have a product that pays you guys a weekly or a daily benefit amount for everything that he's getting, because that money can be used to pay somebody to come in and help you take care of him. I don't want you to be in a situation where you're having to take care of your husband, and you have to transfer him from the bed into the living room to the bathroom. You have to help him with toileting, that type of stuff. You should have help with that. And the good news is, it's very, very affordable to do so, because what they do is they offer a basic, standard, and complete package: bronze, silver, gold, right? And you can go in and you offer that to them. It's the same pitch every single time, right? And then they're going to tell you, oh, no, we can't afford that, or hey, yes, we want it. And that's product pipelining. So you sold them the Medicare plan, the cancer, the heart attack, and stroke. And then in March, you say, hey, home healthcare pitch. It's the same pitch. You're calling, you're energetic, you're building the relationship, you're educating them. Once you educate them, you're becoming the authority on the topic, and then you assume the sale, right? It's very, very simple. And then the next thing is, after that, you say 3, 4 months go down the line, you say, hey, Janice, I hope everything's going well. We've helped you with quite a few things. I'm sure you're satisfied. Could you, leave us a review? You should have already gotten to leave you a review. That should be something that's added in for sure. But leave us a review. By the way, I wanted to make sure that you have your final expense. Are you going to be cremated or buried? Just ask them that question. Don't even mention final expenses. Are you going to be cremated or buried? Oh, we're going to be buried. You got your plot and all that handled? Yes. Okay. If they say yes, okay, I was going to let you know I also have final expense coverage for a very affordable rate. But if they say no, we don't have a handle, say, okay, great. Well, I have a gold, silver, bronze option for you, and assume the sale. That's product pipeline. So you just turned, what most people will do is they'll have a Medicare client and the lifetime value will be $1,200. If you product pipeline like that, your client is going to be worth $3,000 or $4,000, and you're going to soar past all of your, I don't so like to say competitors, but you're going to soar past everybody else in this industry. So that's what you got to do. That's product pipelining. All right. Any questions on product pipelining? because I'm about done. I don't want to last much longer on this. I want everybody to get to work. All right, do me a favor. If you're still in this call, I know 78 people. All right, do me a favor. I'm not, this is a free call, okay? This is a free call. I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart, and I'm hoping that a lot of you say, "Hey, I'm going to move my ancillary products over to Johnny." Yes, I'm not stupid, right? I'm trying to grow a business here, okay? But it is free, and if you don't do that, I don't care. I'm still going to be your friend. I'm always going to help if I can. All right. If you're if you're not in my high if you're not in my downline, you're not an agent of ours. It doesn't matter to me. If you ask me a question, if you want my help, I'm going to give it to you. Yeah, if you want to do a one-on-one, yes, it's going to cost money. I've started charging for that, but that's totally different, right? Um, please do me a favor. Take a picture of this call and just post it on Instagram and post the link for people to join the free training every week. I have the link. I'm going to post it in the chat right now. The link, they can go to the link and they can fill it out and they can join the weekly call. I want this, it might be a little ego driven, but I want this to be the biggest Medicare and health insurance training, free training in the industry. There's the link. Please. So Kate, what are you offering to Florida people for home health aid? They don't have it in Florida. There's not one in Florida. There's not one, unfortunately. Florida's weird. Um, but please do me a favor, guys. If you don't know how to do it, everybody has Instagram, Facebook. You can attach a link to your story. Take a picture, say Johnny Brock crushed it, helped me out quite a bit, whatever. Join the weekly coaching call and tag me in it. The real Johnny Brock, please. I don't ask for much, okay? I just need a little help marketing this call from you guys. What about Jersey Johnny Home Health Aid? I don't know, man. Those New Jersey and let me see. Nah, it's not in New Jersey, brother. It's not New York, New Jersey, California. You know, if you want to be honest with you, the Democratic states less likely to have them in there. Ancillary products are a lot harder to. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I'm just telling you the truth, which most of you are probably Republicans. So the real Johnny Hamchick, I love Johnny Hamchick, which is so funny because that guy makes me laugh every time I see him on my Instagram. If nobody has anything else, I just like I said, the only payment I ask is to put it in in on Instagram, Facebook, and tell people like, hey, Johnny crushed it. He really is. I'm literally like next week I'm gonna go over. This is gonna be a good fucking training. Role playing. There's gonna be a lot of different. You know, the industry evolves. I'm gonna help a lot of people out. Mike, go ahead, brother. Mm, yeah. Yes. Well, they're expecting to have to give you personal information, right? When you're doing business with people about insurance services like this, they're expecting it, right? They a lot of times they'll say, "All right, they'll already have it ready for you. I got my checking account right here." Like they'll have it ready for you. So, I mean, I'm very big on this. Like this is the idea that I know people that are writing like 500 MAs a month and they cross sell none. And I don't think like I lose all respect for him. I had a really good friend. I had a really good friend. And I now this is not the reason we're not friends anymore. I mean, we're still like acquaintances, but like a big agency. and all that, and they don't cross sell any. And I try to train their team, and they people don't believe, they don't understand it. It starts from the top down. If the people that you look up to are not pushing it, then it's not going to happen. Your little minions running around that are agents, they're not going to sell it if you're not pushing it. It's just not going to happen. So it's very very important. Like if you're an agency and you're writing fucking 5,000, 10,000 apps a year and you're not cross selling, you're missing out on like millions of dollars. Which if you're going to sell your business, which a lot of people are, that is literally 8x. You're missing out on if you're it's crazy. I don't understand it. I don't get it. If my brother, if Justin Brock never would have cross sold, he wouldn't have been able to sell his agency. I don't think because I know how he thinks. He doesn't like he has to have a certain amount. So, when he got the 51% deal with AmeriLife, I guarantee you that, without the cross sales, his EBITDA would have been way down. So it's just I don't understand it. I don't get it, but very, very, very weird to me. I view like I'll be a little bit like brash here. Like if you really know me, you know me, you know how I am. I think you're a pansy if you don't cross it. Like that's what I believe about you. I think that you're scared, and I think that you're doing your clients a disservice. But not only that, I think that you're a pansy. That's what I think. So and I'll tell people that like if you don't cross sell, like you're scared for no reason. So appreciate the well, it's not even sales. It's just a service. It's just a service. It's like, I could put freaking, I feel like a monkey. Like, or dude, the thing is, like, if you're, so that's actually a good statement because if you're somebody who's like that, if you are only writing zero premium Medicare Advantage plans and you're not cross selling, the truth is that that could be replaced by AI in a couple of years. So, like, if you're that agency and you're not cross selling, like I feel like the agent. Like first of all, like AI will replace it. It will replace it. It will not replace cross selling. Actually, it might. AI is pretty fucking impressive, but you got a higher chance at for sure. So everybody that's still in here, I appreciate you sticking around to the end. I'm gonna let you guys all get back to it, but please, if I have 75 people in here and I've only got one mention so far, you guys put me on social media, and the reality is this call is good for people. Everybody in here knows some other insurance agencies. Put it on your story, share it with them. I want more people to join. We could have 1,000 people in here. 1,000 people could be in here. So I appreciate everybody. um, you're all beautiful, and I got somebody trying to get in right now. What? Let's see. No, no. If you click on it, it goes to the. I just clicked on it. It says fill out the form below, and you'll instantly receive a text and email. I don't know. Maybe you got. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know about that one. I just clicked on it and it worked. So um, I don't know. That's weird. Yeah. What's up, Jose? Um, it's not. It's. Let me see. New Jersey doesn't even have a hospital indemnity plan, man. If I was you, Jose, I would stop doing everything in person, and I would go over the phones. That's gonna be your best bet. Plus, like how many clients do you have, Jose? Dude, if you and they were all in person, does New Jersey have final expense? Uh, okay, yeah, that I would use the same pitch. You can get value out of the call. I would use the same pitch, Jose, and I would just do final expense for it. And I never even like the way to do final expense is pretty simple. It's um hey, by the way, appreciate you being a client, yada yada yada, chat, and then I say, hey, I noticed you don't have anything for cremation or burial on your profile. Are you going to be cremated or buried? And then they'll tell you, and you say, okay. Good news is I handle that for you as well, and then I give them a gold, silver, bronze option, and I say which one's best for you, and I assume the sale. Always assume the sale. That's the key. So that's how I would do it. All right. Thanks, Jose. John Stagner, you got a question? I'm taking one more. What's the carrier name? Oh wow. Florida has it. Okay, double check that for me and send me an email on that. Johnny Johnny at teampib.com, because if that's true, Jose, and there's people that are in New Jersey and those states that do that, that are real. It's all about regulation, by the way, Jose. That's what it is. It's regulation that prohibits it. Um, well, what's the commission on it? I'm just curious. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Everybody, God bless. Thank you guys so much. Make Medicare great again. Go cross selling. I'll talk to you later.